probably our oldest and biggest owl. This is a great horned owl. And it does not actually hit. Come on, guy. Stand up a little. He's very old. He's 15 years old. A great horned owl could probably live to be about this old if it was very strong and didn't have any problems in the wild, but probably not. They usually might live with, say, 8, 9, 10 years. But the oldest known living owl in captivity lived to be 23 years old in the Boston Museum of Science. So we hope that Webster, we call him Webster, will live to be that long. He has had cataracts. He actually had his cataracts removed last year. So he's actually had eye surgery. So we take good care of our owls because they take good care of us. These are our ambassadors for wildlife. Now Webster's story, Webster came from Alaska in 1996. So that was 15 years ago. And I guess a careless person with a gun shot Webster. His wing was damaged. And a local veterinarian in Wickford, Rhode Island, saw that really that damaged wing was a real problem, was hurting him. So his wing was amputated on the shoulder. And so it's actually on this side. You really can't tell that there's no wing because he has so many feathers. See that over there? But he is kind of sensitive to that. That's why I always make sure he's on this side. So if he needs to bait or get his balance, he can swing that wing out away from me and not knock me because they have very long wingspan. This is the largest owl in North America. No, I shouldn't say the largest. The snowy owl is actually the largest one up in the tundra, but it's the tallest. And certainly, now, as you can see, I'm going to probably have to hold my arm here, because that little kestrel I had was 2.5 ounces in weight. This guy is about 3 pounds. But still, a lot of bird for 3 pounds, huh? Because they're mostly feathered. And another thing that birds have, a feature that makes them very lightweight, that also distinguishes birds from other mammals. What about their bones? Anybody know about bird bones? Yes. They're hollow. That's right. It has hollow bones. And so their hollow bones, their feathers, and all that make them wonderful flyers. How these guys hunt, and they hunt at night, is they're kind of perch and pounce hunters. They'll be up in a forest branch, looking around, could see a mouse all the way down to those bushes. I would say 50 yards away, in the dark, into what everything was pitch black, could see a mouse and then just leap down and in perfect silence snatch that mouse off the ground. However, they don't limit themselves to just mice. Did you know that owls can actually take prey that's up to 4 times their size? Could actually take down a great blue heron. And there is actually a webcam on a great blue heron's nest of a great horned owl trying to do just that. It's amazing. But one of the things they do eat around here are skunks. Any of you guys think you might like to have some skunk for dinner? Yummy, huh? Or PU, right? Skunk smell? Well, one of the things about owls and most birds of prey is that while they have good sight, good hearing, they have practically no sense of smell. The only birds that really have sense of smell might be a turkey vulture, which isn't really a bird of prey, it's a scavenger, or the birds that live out to sea like gannets and shearwaters that need their sense of smell to locate food. But these guys mostly use their hearing and then they use their sight. It's really hearing that is what it's all about. Now, Sarah said something about their ears. Were they even or were they uneven? Uneven, right? One was up and one is down, right? Okay, well on this great horned owl, think of it, feel your ear. You see how you have that ear lobe? Well, if you look at the owl, you really can't see ears, but you see the black line like this on their face, the facial discs? Those feathers act very much like our ear lobe, channeling the sound towards those little slits in their skull which form their ears. Now, the business end of an owl or any bird of prey really is the talons, those very sharp claws. It has 2 talons that go forward, 2 talons that go backward, so it can grab onto things very easily. While a great horned owl might eat a mouse whole, if it took a big bird or a skunk, it would have to pull it apart. It's got a very strong beak. And as you can see, that very sharp curved beak. He is actually due for a, you know how you say a mani-pedi? Well, this would be a beaky-pedi. And he's actually was due for it today. You can see his beak is a little bit long, a little bit hooked. We should file that down. But because it was such a hot day, and he doesn't really like mani-pedis or beaky-pedis, we figured we're going to wait till the weather cools down a little bit, and also today was showtime. So it's just been so hot and humid, we said, let's give it a break. When you get a little break in the temperature, we'll give him his little beaky-pedi. These birds, though, do take a lot of maintenance. You know, we keep them in mews, which are special cages, which let the, you know, the air come in, but we have to try to keep the mosquitoes and the other bugs out because we don't want them getting bitten up. They can't really fly around and fence for themselves very much. And we feed them mice that we purchase or little quails. That's what we have to feed them because we try to keep them going. So, any questions? Yes, young man.
We don't really catch a California quail. Really,
That's right. But you know where great horned owls live? All over the continental North America. Every state has great horned owls. So I'll bet you if there was a great horned owl in California, it might be going after a quail. Remember when I said this one came from Alaska? It's kind of a grayish color because in Alaska there's a lot more, what do they have a lot more than we do?
Snow.
Snow. They're bright, lighter in color. Our great horned owls are more of a deep brown because we probably have more dark trees and dark foliage. So if you saw a great horned owl here in Rhode Island, it would probably be much more brown and much more barred. This one has that kind of gray, fluffy color to more of the Alaska subspecies. Can I? How? He is panting. That's how they release.
You have to spray your feet with water.
Yeah, I've got a little spray bottle in the back. I give him a little spray. I spray their feet, spray his mouth a little bit of water, and he's able to release some heat. I mean, look at that big fur coat. Can you imagine if you were wearing a big fur coat today? You know? So, anyway, that's why I'm trying to just kind of let him be mellow. But he's a very mellow guy. He does this all the time. A bomb could go off right outside, and he'd just stay there and look around. Oh, okay. So, look at those eyes, though. Everybody likes to say owls are wise, right? A wise old owl. Why do you think that people think that they're wise? Because their faces look like ours. Well, guess what? They're not very smart. With his eyes as big as they are, and they're shaped more like floodlights than marbles, taking up all that space. And most of his head is feathers. There isn't much room left for a brain. But this is basically a hunter. He's hardwired to do what he was. There isn't a whole lot of learning that goes on with birds of prey. Do you know what the smartest bird in the world is? We have them here, and they're very common. Crows. Crows have very well-developed brains. And related to crows are blue jays. And if you think about crows and blue jays, they actually learn to use tools. They can take a stick to use things to pry things open. They go and store things. They're really quite clever. So in that corvid family, the crows, the ravens, the blue jays, they're all quite probably the most intelligent and most evolved if you think about evolution, bird evolution. When you think of things like owls or loons or some of the other ones, they're very ancient birds, and they're a little bit more primitive. When you think about it, some of our closest relatives, the closest relatives to the dinosaurs, are birds. They're actually evolved from reptiles. Feathers are actually modified scales. So they're pretty ancient creatures, but still well adapted to their way of life. So my arm is about to fall off. So I'm going to end this, and he looks like he could use a little spritz of water. And I'm going to basically bring him back, and I don't know, Sarah had something else you wanted to say, or whatever?